you sold the car.
I sold the car.
There were some representations made about the condition of the car.
Before I sold it, correct.
What did you say to the plaintiff?
I told the Brums test drove the car. The coolant light came on.
Right.
He asked about the coolant light. I said, "Oh well, these are the repairs that you have," and he's looking over them for the coolant light. It took into.
And what did the repairs say?
Yes, they did a pressure test, which detects a leak, any kind of leak. They couldn't find the leak. So the mechanic said it's the sensor, but he didn't have a sensor to replace it. So I said, okay, well, whoever I sell the car to, I'm going to show them that not trying to hide anything.
Where had you purchased the car? Was it your car?
No, I purchased it from some older lady in Sacramento.
How long ago?
Like a year and a half.
A year before. Now, the plaintiffs claim that after they delivered the car to your mechanic, you refused to give them the purchase price back. But you wanted documents back because you claimed that you left them in the dealership? I don't understand
Yes,
that.
they were left because the car remained in the dealership. So the service manager was looking over them as well. And so they stayed there, which I made that clear to Jake.
But you also said while the car is in the mechanics, you have repairs done to the car?
Yeah, I had repairs done to the car because when I took my car to Speedy and they did the service and looked to see why this coolant light was coming on, they didn't find a leak. So all of a sudden they get the car and there's this huge radiator leak.
But why did you take the responsibility after getting the car back and keeping the down payment? Why did you take on the responsibility of repairing it and now putting them in a position of saying that if we decide to give them back the car or give them back the purchase price, that they have to pay you $1,700?
Well, because I was getting the repairs done when my mechanic said, this is what's happening, this was what's happening, regardless of who was making the decision. My thought was, this was not what Speedy told me 2 days before I sold the car. There was no leak. They did an air pressure test. So where did this all of a sudden all this stuff come from?
Yeah, you allege that you think that the plaintiffs must have somehow caused this damage in the 15 miles from where they purchased it.
In the few days that they had the car. Those problems weren't here when I had the car.
I got you. Judge Tawalda.
Well, I think we should look at this car, right?
That's a good idea.
Okay, so the Brums, y'all have
We
a
have
video,
a video, right?
Yes,
of the
there
car
is.
in the mechanic shop?
Yes.
And for the record,
Yes.
the car was never in our, in our possession. From the time it was towed to
Directly
the
to the shop.
dealership, and therefore
Stayed there until it came back to her.
So it never went to your private residence or anything
That's
like
correct.
that? All right, let's look at this car.
Oh, that's hearsay.
And this was after you drove the car for 15 miles where
Yes.
you met the defendant?
Yes.
Okay, so when you left your place of residence, which is where? Merced. To go meet the defendant, you test drove the car. How far did you test drive the car?
It wasn't very far, maybe altogether 1 mile, 2 miles or something like that.
1 or 2 miles?
Yes.
That's when the defendant and I kind of interacted. We had a small conversation while he and my son were test driving the car.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, y'all met at a Walmart. How far was that from your place of residence? How far did you drive the car?
Probably about 15 minutes or so.
Okay. I know that, Mr. Brum, you found some coolant in the trunk of the Passat?
That's correct.
Okay. What was that about?
I told him I keep coolant and oil in all my cars. All three of my cars have coolant and oil in all my cars.
Okay.
And in the text message, I said, well, if that was the issue, you should have raised a concern then.
And this was before you guys drove off, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
She said that she'd recently had some repairs done and she had the radiator reservoir, the return valve replaced. So my assumption was she might have had a problem, ongoing problem, but she said that her mechanic said that it was most likely a sensor.
And what did the mechanic say to you when you took it to, or had it
Said it was
towed?
a sensor. There's a nice list of everything that all the repairs that needed to be done to repair that. There was $1,700 worth of repairs. So they stayed at the shop that we towed it to until she could have it towed to her shop.
Okay. Here's the thing with me. Okay. How long have you had the Passat?
For like a year and a half.
Year and a half. Y'all had the car for how long?
15 minutes.
All right.
Tops.
So I think that the mechanic shop was incorrect. They did a disservice to you. But I also don't think it's fair for you to assume that they did anything to the car when they had it less than 24 hours. You had it a whole year. You know what I'm saying?